What up, y'all? Welcome to the latest episode of Giggles, Irene Radio. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Audio Mac, and wherever you listen to podcasts, because we are everywhere. Today's special guest is coming to us straight from Las Vegas. I want to say you're the first guest I've ever had from Las Vegas.
From the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
We're so close.
Right? He just released a project that reached number 2 on the hip hop charts. So congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And everyone, welcome EKOH.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I bet after having your project reach number 2, how exciting.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the reception has been great, and the way the fans are reacting to it has been awesome. And
yeah.
Obviously, having something hit a number 2 on, the iTunes charts is just, awesome to see. So
yeah.
I've been super stoked on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a high that you don't want to go away, right?
Yeah, it's a high, but I guess I don't know, I'm weird. So as soon as anything good happens, I'm always like, well, fuck, can I cuss on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, fuck, how am I gonna top that?
Yeah. No,
I'm
the same way. I'm the same way. Or I think dang, this went so good. What's gonna fuck up now?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's just kind of I don't even want to say the artist mind, just the creative mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you've done something, or I guess I always feel like creatives, we talk ourselves up just a little too much. And so it's dude, I think that happens in regular jobs too,
yeah.
right? When you do something so good, it's like, all right, well, how am I gonna
top this?
Yeah. Or when are they going to realize that I just got lucky, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or all these kinds of things. It's all that kind of just self-doubt and trying to, waiting for the other shoe to drop kind of thing.
And it's crazy because we're filled with all this self-doubt, but at the same time, we have to be our number one fan.
Yeah.
So it's just always a mixture of up and down emotions for creatives.
Yeah. It's a weird dichotomy of thinking that obviously you put all your time, money, and effort into doing something, but in the back of your head, there's a voice that's like, yeah, you're never going to.
Yeah. You're you just got lucky that one time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's you continue moving regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
you have to.
But that's also, I think having that is better also, because any hate you get on the internet, which is inevitable, is whatever.
Thank God for the mute button though.
Yeah. Any of that shit is even whatever you have to say about me, I've already said to myself 1,000 times. So
Exactly.
what? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of like one of those things where you make fun of yourself before the other person can make fun of you.
Yeah, exactly.
I've already done that.
Yeah, I've already run through I know all my weak spots. I know all the things I fucked up. I know all the shit you're going to say. And it's I've already said it to myself 1,000 times. So whatever.
Yeah. Dang, it's crazy how we psych ourselves out like that, but it works out for the better,
Yeah, it's like some sort of weird, trying to self-sabotage, but also being that also becomes a catalyst for, breakthroughs on what you're doing. And if you're not your worst critic, are you putting out your best work? You know what I mean? I'd rather be my worst critic, because then everybody else is just kind of white noise in the background, because I've already run myself through the ringer on whatever it is. So whatever I put out, I've already kind of run through every checklist of what I possibly couldn't like about it. And once I put it out, it's you can say whatever you want, and it's not really, you can't get to me once it's out, because I've already checked off everything and obviously made it to a point where I feel like those issues aren't really a thing that bother me anymore. So
it's not going to keep you up at night and shit.
Yeah. So if you don't like it, in my head, your taste just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it just doesn't match with mine. So that's fine.
Exactly. Exactly. I tried to do a little bit of research on you before you got here, and I didn't really find that many interviews, but you carry conversations really well. Why haven't you done any interviews?
I mean, nobody really wants. I don't get asked often.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess
you're that's just it. Yeah.
Or the other thing is I'm always just super busy. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Doing all this, independently is just a full-time thing, and it's always constant go. And there comes a point where it's I can do this interview, or I can do this video, or so what am I able to do in the time frame that I have? You know what I mean?
Okay. So you have to kind of weigh the pros and cons and be Yeah,
but obviously I love doing it.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
it's never like, I don't want to do that. It's just like at this moment, what is the priority? And it's well, the priority right now is like, if I have to sacrifice one thing, it's always like having to sacrifice on that end, unfortunately. But I'm at a point now where I'm like, I'm not going to keep doing that. I want to get out and talk to people.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Cause I feel like you're so vulnerable in your music, which we'll talk about later, but, that people are going to want to like pick your brain on it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think so.
Yeah.
And I'm open to it. I like having the conversation about the music.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about, you growing up with music. Was music a huge influence on you growing up?
No, I never tried making music until later in life when I was younger. But music growing up to me was everything.
Yeah.
Like my life revolved around music. It was ingrained in my everyday living. It was all about what music we were listening to and what was new. And, you know, when I was growing up, I was so fully engulfed in different music, and that was my escape.
Yeah.
Was listening to artists, and I really fell in love with lyrics over everything.
Okay.
Like I was never that huge on production or beats or anything. It was always what the person was saying and how they were saying it and how that related to me and what I was going through or anything like that. Like I got deep into lyrics with people. So growing up, that was always the artist I gravitated towards the most. But I didn't even think that I could make music. I didn't know the first step to making music. I didn't know how anybody really did it. It's a very overwhelming monster looking at it from the outside, especially when you've never done it before and you have no idea how to write a song or song structure, or what do I say?
Yeah.
I just start saying shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And which is kind of how it works. Like you just kind of start saying shit until you figure out what you want to say. And you say enough of, I really think that you're just a bad replica of who you like for a while until you figure out yourself. You know what I mean? Because that's just how it is. Like you mimic, you know, the things that you like that you see in others, and for long enough until you figure out song structure and style, and you get comfortable enough into it where you can really learn to be yourself, which is an art on its own completely.
Yeah. So how did you go about finding yourself within music?
That's pretty much how it was. I mean, I was a bad example of the people I listened to for long enough.
Who were you listening to then?
I mean, I was a huge Tupac fan growing up. Tupac was always my favorite. I mean, I grew up big into skate culture. So hip hop, punk rock, and more like pop punk. That was like all my shit growing up.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah. So once I started making my own music, I think at that time, and I'd gotten sober a couple years before I started actually making music. So at that time I was into some probably super emo shit. I was listening to like a lot of Atmosphere, a lot of like Jedi Mind Tricks, which isn't really, they have some more emotional type stuff, but I was super big into, Atmosphere, Jedi Mind Tricks, like Sean Price, a lot of underground shit, especially in that time. It was mostly underground. But I was always a massive Tupac fan, or like Murs. A lot of those underground cats. Obviously not Tupac, but
no, but people. I understand what you mean. Yeah, like I get it. Like you weren't like not the mainstream stuff, right?
Yeah, I wasn't listening to Drake. I wasn't at those times, especially. I was not listening to like Drake or Lil Wayne or like Dipset or like any of that shit.
Yeah,
I was honestly against it. I was like,
really?
I'm like, nah, this is like, it's all about underground shit. It's all about the underground, the independent.
I have some cousins that are like that still.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And the older I've gotten, the more I've learned to find the good in everything and not look at something just because there's like a mainstream label behind it or because it's on the radio. Like just because it's on the radio doesn't mean it's bad. Like I remember growing up, it was like, if it's on the radio, fuck that.
Same. No, I completely understand.
Nah, you can find the good in everything. And there is, it's so, you know, it's such a, like, I don't want to not experience things that I might like or be into just because of my own bias that it was created through me wanting to be like the people I thought were cool. Because someone I thought was cool was like, yo, fuck the radio, punk rock. I was like, yo, that dude's cool.
Yeah,
I'm going to adopt that into my life. And then now I'm going to miss out on a bunch of shit that I might like because I'm trying to be like this dude that I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was how a lot of things were when I was growing up. And I kind of adopted that you know, a little later in life, but I started shedding it, you know, especially when I started making my own music, because then you realize how difficult it is, how hard it is, and how unfair judgment is. And it's like, damn, I've been judging this whole time like that. Like I was that guy, like fuck that, man. And so then you start being a little more accepting into other genres or other sounds or other things, and trying to find like, what do people like about this? Even if I don't like it, like I don't like quote unquote mumble rap or what. I don't think mumble rap's a thing anymore, but it was, you know what I mean? For a minute. And it's like, there'd be a lot of hate on it, but then, you know, like curiosity is like, well, why the fuck people like it?
Yeah.
So
like,
what
why?
about it? What about it? You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, well, how talented are you? Can you incorporate the things that people like about this thing you don't like into your own sound without turning into it, to try and at least, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do different things. And to me, that's creative and that's fun and that's different types of things. But that was for me, an extremely mature thought process that I had to go to and finally get to after years of being biased against things that were cool or mainstream or poppin' or whatever, you know what I mean?
And it really does take years, or like it takes a minute to kind of like step out of that mindset and be like, oh, okay, this is, because I know like I wanted to get into radio because I was like, I want to play the shit, the underground shit. And then I went to school and I was just like, that's and I had to learn the process of like why this is played and why this isn't played, and I was just like, oh, okay. Like, so then like you said, you learn, you grow, and you mature, and then you're like, fuck, okay.
Well, there's an interesting thing too, because there's like a weird, like if you hear a song on the radio, it's like, okay, let me be honest with myself. Take my own bias out of this. Do I like this? You know what I mean? And all right, if I sit down and honestly give something a chance, like, do I like this? Can I find something about this that I like? Like challenging yourself. To try new things instead of just as soon as you hear something, like your immediate response, like, nah, I don't fuck with that. This shit. It's like, all right, hold on. Just stop for a second, remove the bias, remove the ego, remove all the shit. And it's like, just listen to it. Like, do I like this? Pop Smoke Records? Like, fuck yeah, I do. This shit is hard as fuck. This beat's crazy. This flow is dope. It's different. It's like, you know, if you go to a restaurant and try a taste you've never tried before, it might take you a minute to get acclimated to it. But then 4 days later, you're like, damn, I want to go back there. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, a different approach to things.
How old were you when you went through that thought process? If you don't mind me asking.
When I started like trying out new music and stuff like that, probably I don't know. It was shortly after I started making music. So it was like 20, 21, something like that, when I was like, all right, let me see, you know what I mean? Instead of just being like punk rock forever, fuck everything. You know what I mean? Like, let me just try and see what's actually going on and what I can like.
Okay, so you were still fairly young, and you had matured with that mindset. Yeah, that's dope. That's good, because now it shows in your music, like how you're able to put all that into everything that you're putting out now.
Yeah, that's what I try, and that's the same thing. Is like, I'll listen to things that are popular or just things that I like, and that's what it really comes down to. If I really sit and like, do I like this? Like, do I like this acoustic song? I'm like, I would like to do that. Why can't I do that? Well, I can. So let's try it. You know what I mean? So it's that whole thing of not putting limits on myself and not putting limits on the things that I like. And if my sound starts to change, it's only because my taste starts to change, and I open myself up to new sounds and new types of production and things like that. So then I just start to gravitate towards those things, and inevitably the sound will change with it. And that's just because I'm trying new stuff and I like new things, and I get bored of listening to the same shit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, with my listeners, I'm like, I hope you're getting bored too. And then you want them to grow with you, and you grow and explore. Exactly. When it comes to your fan base, and obviously like you want them to grow with you and continue to like mature with you and kind of go through things with you as you're putting it out. How is it that you've been able to do that? Because you have a solid fan base, right? Your project got to number 2, which I'm going to bring up throughout the whole interview. Just saying. Thanks. That's fine.
But what advice would you give to artists to kind of like build that solid fan base?
I think what it comes down to is just knowing yourself and being genuine in your music and what you like. having an extremely distinct voice that's unique to you, which took a while for me to find and figure out and fine tune. But once you figure that out and you're genuine, you can do anything as long as you're staying true to yourself, because eventually fans will fuck with you. It's like, I don't care what you're doing, as long as you're doing it to the best that you can do, they're probably going to fuck with it, which is why I can do some super nerd rap type shit that has to do with just comics, because that's like genuine to me. It's shit that I'm not doing it just to catch some clout or something like that. I'm doing it because I like it.
Snag those comic book fans.
Yeah, I'm doing it because I'm into it, and the way I do it is the way I would hope somebody would do it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've made 20 of those. I've put out 3.
Yeah.
Because there's only 3 that I was like, this is what's right. Like, this is like, makes sense. And this is genuine to me and to the culture and to what it belongs to. Yeah. And I think this is what, it would deserve. But then I can also do just some hard rap shit, because that's also true to me and how I'm feeling and what I'm doing. But then I can do some acoustic shit, or I can do a 50 song. I can do whatever I want as long as I'm staying true to myself. And if I'm just experimenting, doing something that's fun, I'm genuinely doing it because I think it's fun. It's not ever it's not like short plays. Everything I make is a long play for me in the long run. Cause I always know any song I put out, I have to live with forever. Like, if you don't like it, you don't have to fucking listen to it ever again. I'm stuck with that shit for life.
Yeah. It's on you forever.
Yeah. So if I don't like it, then, or if it's not genuine to me, I'll know. I know then, but I'll put it out. But then a couple years from now, I'll look back and be like, "Fuck, why did I do that?" And I don't want to live like that. I don't want my music to be like that. It's too important to me. And I think the fans, understand that, and we've built this community around it, and the community that's built around being genuine and being yourself and not being afraid to be into the shit that you're into, or you know what I mean. If you're you got your own problems, if you got mental health issues, or if you're just a fucking hip hop head that's trying to, rock out to some lyrics and you fuck with lyric heavy music, or if you're just trying to vibe to some shit, or you feel like you fit in just outside of what the norm is, or just outside of the mainstream, not fully on this underground shit, but not fully on the mainstream shit. It's like, well, I kind of rest here in the middle. That's where, you'll find something in that pocket where I'm at, where I try to exist at least. Yeah. And once you can get that across and build your music, or I hate saying build your brand, but build your brand to represent you the best you can, then all you have to do is stay true to yourself and really dig deep and be like, what am I into? Is this what I'm into? Okay, well then just go with that.
Yeah. And have you found that it makes your creative process easier because you don't have to like put on a hat to be like this character, because it's truly you?
Yes and no, because there's times where it's like, I'd like to just phone it in. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's kind of natural. You get tired and you're like, I could just bang out the 16 real quick and do, you know what I mean? Yeah. But you can't do that, and so on one end, I don't ever have to try hard to be anything outside of it, but also there is something to be said about always having to, dig a little bit past the surface to try and figure out, what the meaning underneath the song is, or revise lyrics, you know what I mean? Because I'll go in and write a song or write a verse that is phoning it in, sort of, just so I can get a structure down, and then I have to go in and revise it and be like, all right, what do I really want to say, and then figure that out,
Okay. So there is like, it's not just going in there and talking about your day. You are like,
it's all mostly intentional as can be. You know what I'm saying? Not always. Sometimes just to fuck around and have some fun, but even those are intentional in the way that they are.
And that's great, because your fan base, how they've been with you for so long, they'll be able to tell whether it's genuine or not, Yeah. So.
And there might be things that they don't, that certain people don't agree with, or sounds that they don't fuck with necessarily. But at the same time, it's like, at the end of the day, and I've said this from the jump, is like, I'm never going to let anybody tell me what to make, fan or hater. Like, I don't listen to the chatter on either side. Yeah. Cause I'm not going to let people who don't like my shit dictate
influence
what I do.
Yeah,
But you have to be careful to not let the people who do like your shit dictate what you
Yeah.
do, because then in the same way, you're not going to grow. If I'm only doing what I think you guys want, you're never going to make everybody happy.
Exactly.
So as long as I'm making me happy, at the end of the day, if you like it or you don't like it, at least I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, I'm the one who has to live with it. So
Exactly. Yeah.
you can either get with it or go listen to someone else. That's fine.
I
But
think also
I'm going to be doing me over here. Yeah.
I think also what fans sometimes need to realize is that, like, as fans, as music fans, we just want to digest everything and we want it to cater to us. And when it doesn't, we're so hurt. But at the same time, it's okay to not like everything that your favorite artist puts out.
That's true. And that's hard as an artist to wrap your head around too. It's like not everybody has to like everything you do.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important. Yeah, you're right. It's not always, nothing is always going to cater to you in every single way.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to think that. But we like to think that, especially with the artists that we like. And a lot of times it does. But a lot of times you have to go into, you know, a new record or a new project from an artist and give them a clean slate. It's not fair to compare them to who they were last year. Like step in, like reevaluate. Like, am I a fan of this artist? Like, let me listen to it as a new artist. Like, how do I feel about it? Instead of going in with all these preconceived ideas of comparing it to this old, whoever this other person was. That's not fair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also, just because you like it, don't like it doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly.
And that is something that people don't understand.
And some artists too, I feel like not everybody needs to like all of your shit.
Yeah.
Like you don't, like, I understand it feels nice to show it to people and have them be like, oh yeah, I fuck with this. But if they don't, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of people out there that will fuck with you.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
And just because someone doesn't like it doesn't mean it's bad.
Exactly.
Like the ego involved in somebody thinking if I don't like this, it's trash is like beyond me. It's crazy. It's like, it's just not made for you.
Yeah.
It's not your taste. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine. It doesn't mean it's bad because someone else might like it.
Exactly.
And further is like the people who will hate on someone who likes something they don't like is fucking crazy. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, all that makes you happy and helps you get through your day, that shit's trash. Like,
You're calling
fuck
everybody
you.
on Twitter out right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't do it in the comments anymore because it's a losing battle, but I'll do it publicly.
Yeah. I can imagine you all day just being like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not even gonna respond to nobody no more.
Most of the time it's like writing a response, and writing the response on its own makes you feel better. And it's like, yeah, I don't need to.
Yeah, and then you
I don't
just
need-
delete it all.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a losing battle. I've never seen somebody win by making a rebuttal onto a comment. It's always bad, no matter what.
Always.
Like there's no upside. It's just leave it the fuck alone. Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about the indie grind because you said earlier you're doing everything on your own, and you know sometimes you have to say no to things and stuff. How has that been, especially with the change because of COVID? I know a lot of artists had to kind of like re-strategize everything.
Well, when COVID hit, I didn't have to re-strategize as much as more as just change the gears a little bit and look at, you know, obviously touring isn't happening anymore for that, you know, for that time. And what am I going to do? And I know a lot of people that weren't able to be creative in that space. They were having a really hard time, you know, making stuff or finding inspiration to create, or the motivation to create. And, which I totally understand for them. But for me, it was more of a fire underneath that I was like, all right, well, if these tours are going to happen, I was kind of depending on that. Like where's my place in the current climate of the way the music is now? So what am I going to do? I'm not just going to stop. I've worked way too hard this whole time to just stop doing shit.
Yeah, put yourself on pause.
Yeah, or worry because, you know, tours aren't happening. So everybody else is home and everybody else is making dope shit all day long. And so I need to be making as much, if not more. And so I was just in writing mode and figuring out different ways to exist online and TikTok stuff and where can I find a fan base there or a place to live on that app with new people and just different ways that I can get my music out that isn't even just necessarily through the music, a different means of expression and creating or advertising or marketing myself that doesn't feel like marketing. You know what I mean? Because I hate being sold to, and I know I don't like selling things. So how can I figure out a way to do that without feeling like I'm doing it, and do it in a fun way and offer something that somebody else doesn't have? And so started just writing a lot more music and doing a lot more videos and finding, you know, different ways to express on TikToks and just different ways to keep content going and stay, you know, in the pipeline for people, you know, so people forget so quickly.
They do.
You know, and this game it's a game of momentum. And it's really easy to lose momentum. Yeah. And so continuing to stay on it in different ways, whether it's doing a rap duet that some people might like and might blow up and get you a few new fans, or doing a music video, or just, you know, rapping on a mic in your bedroom, whatever it is, there's so many different ways to reach new people. And that's really the name of the game here. It's what I'm here to do, is reach as many people as I possibly can with the music, and then find different ways to entertain and build the community that people feel happy in and want to exist in and want to be a part of outside of the music, just even with, you know, the other people that I create with, or the fans, you know what I mean, through like Facebook groups of people who hang out before shows, or, you know, support each other and different creative things that they're doing. You know what I mean? To me, that ends up becoming the piece that's bigger than me, that I like just watching. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And was that easy for you to do? Because I feel like you like you said, you want to make yourself marketable but not sell yourself. Like, so how was that to make all of that content and still be like organic?
Again, I think it really just comes down to being yourself. And I know I'm aware of how weird the internet is. I'm aware of what a joke most of it is. Yeah. And if you can either be in on the joke or pretend that it's not there and take it too seriously. So I've always tried to acknowledge just how weird things are. And so if I do market a song, I can do like a funny skit or something that's different that people will fuck with, or, you know, a rap thing that's more fun that people can enjoy, and also be like, all right, so apparently he just dropped a new shirt or some shit. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, but do it in a way that it's still entertaining. Like, I still want to offer value. You know what I mean? So if there's value even in, you know, what I'm using to try and show you that I have tour dates out, then to me, that's totally worth it. I guess at the end of the day, I just don't ever want to just be a person that's like, here, buy this. Or here, do this, just or here, come to this show.
Throats like this is new here.
Yeah, which, I mean, sometimes you have to do, but I'd rather give you something of value while offering you something that I'm selling, if that makes sense.
No, I get you.
Because it's a weird thing to sell stuff to people, and I've been doing this for so long. There's still that thing in the back of your head of thinking like, nobody's gonna buy this shit. You know what I mean? But then they end up doing it, and it's awesome. But still. I want to be able to offer as much as I can. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, I feel it. Okay, I want to talk about your project now.
Okay.
So the Detour 3, does that have a double meaning? Why is it spelled like that?
Oh, I just thought it was dope.
Okay, because I was trying to figure it out. I was like, I'm just going to ask him because I don't want to look dumb.
No, it's a valid question. I mean, I did the first Detour album. We did the Detour 2, which was like spelt with the 2 inside of the Detour, so like DE, number 2. Okay. And then with the Detour, I was like, there's so many, I can just flip the letters. I just wanted to make it look different instead of just doing the normal shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? I thought it was
cool. I was just like, okay, I wonder if there's like a double meaning behind this.
I mean, it's kind of to, you know, it's for that too. So someone's like, what the fuck is that for?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it got me in the ass, so I hope other people were asking too.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely, I think a lot of people would just assume that it's Detour also without the 3. So
yeah. Because that's what I thought it was at first.
Yeah. I mean, it's dope because then, you know, once you see it's like a 3, then there is a story that's kind of led up to it, or at least 2 albums before, you know?
Yeah. And it all interconnects.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has 21 tracks, which is, I feel like, is kind of unheard of for like
it's a lot.
Yeah. But it's not, it doesn't feel like 21 tracks. Does that make sense?
That's good.
Yeah.
We spent a long time on the track list on you know, the order of the songs, because it's really important.
Yeah. Yeah.
On how you're going to ingest an album, and you know, you got to look at it like somebody, or I always look at it like somebody who's never heard my music before stepping in and starting a track one, and the journey you would like for them to go on.
Yeah.
And not staying in one mood for too long to get boring, or, you know, switching it up, and not having too many songs with, you know, little substance, and then throwing in songs that have massive substance to kind of offset that, and you know, give you kind of like a full, you know, full course meal. You know what I'm saying? To like, so you feel satisfied at the end.
Yeah.
21 tracks is a lot, and that really comes down to, again, the wanting to offer value.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we were releasing songs as singles, because it's a singles market. It's kind of just, you know, the way things go. So everybody drops a song every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, whatever it is. And it was always leading towards an album. We did that with the album before, with the Detour 2. It was, you know, which was also 21 songs.
Oh, okay.
So we would release singles, and we're just doing it, just kind of going as we go, and just playing it by ear, and releasing the songs and releasing the videos. And we get to a point, I'm like, yo, we have fucking 13 singles out. Like, we need to drop an album.
Like, holy shit.
We need to put the album out. There's too many songs. But I want to put all these songs that I put out already onto an album. And so I want to consolidate them. And so then we have 13 songs, and I don't feel right selling those, and everybody's, you know, majority of my big fans already have them, already bought them. And what am I going to do? Just slap a different artwork on it and be like, here you go, pay me $10?
I mean, some people do that, but okay.
Some people do it. Yeah. And like, more power to you if that's your thing. Like, I don't feel right personally. I don't feel like that's value.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, I need to give them at least an EP's worth of new music.
Yeah.
So that I feel right selling a whole new album. You know what I mean? At least you technically within there have a new album within the other songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had 13 songs, and I, you know, add an extra 8. And so there's an extra, you know, album's worth technically.
It's kind of like a bunch of singles, but it's a deluxe.
Yeah.
It's a deluxe for like the fans that have all the singles.
Exactly. And so then you drop 8 brand new songs on it. And so even if you've been listening for the past year to every song that drops, you can still go in there and get a brand new experience with the new songs, which if I would take the 8 songs and put it on its own record, would be a complete record on its own.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just kind of sprinkle it throughout, and then I don't feel bad asking $12 for an album or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Or putting it all on one thing. But then it does end up being a 21 song record, which is a lot, and I probably won't do again.
Really? Why? Why do you think that is?
Well, firstly, just because
supposed to do a lot because of streaming.
Yeah, you're supposed to put out a lot of songs, and I'll still continue to do that. I'm not going to stop dropping singles the way I do.
Yeah.
But the 21 song, I mean, maybe I guess never say never, but I just don't want anything to get lost in the shuffle. I don't want someone to, like, every time they put on the album, it's so long that they get through the first half, and it's like,
and then they're like, eh.
No, and then they're not like, but it's like, you can, like, if you even do a workout, like, you know what I mean? You're going to get through the first half of the album, and then you kind of just like turn it off to go do whatever you're doing. Or if you're driving to work or whatever, you always start at the beginning. I don't want you to miss the second half because there's a whole long ass second half. You know what I mean? So I just don't want things to get lost in that shuffle of so many songs.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have never thought of that at all, honestly.
I might be overthinking it. I probably am.
But like, I think that's why artists do the deluxe. Like, they'll drop their 12 or 13, and then they'll drop the deluxe that has an 8 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just makes sense.
That totally makes sense. I always feel like, but when someone drops a deluxe record, I always feel like, oh, these are the songs that didn't make it.
Okay.
That's just me, though. I'm always like, oh, so these are the throwaways. Okay, let's buy the deluxe. And then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God.
And I don't want to have that perception, because they weren't. They were all like songs I could have absolutely and would have done as singles.
Yeah.
But I was like, these songs just need to come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. It all makes sense to us marketing wise and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
there's so much more going on than meets the eye.
Yeah. It's a lot. So I want to talk about what you speak of, like, in your lyrics and stuff, because that's what really stuck out to me throughout the whole project. it all makes sense from what you were speaking on earlier, how like you were into the underground and you wanted to put like yourself into the music. So you didn't go like the clout route. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have been talking about like bitches, jewelry, money, besides like your clout runs everything around me. Like I was like, oh, that's clever.
Thank you.
But yeah, so how important is that for you to always put yourself? I mean, I know you say that you want to be yourself at all times, but when you started making music, did going the mainstream route ever cross your mind at all? Like when you were on the come up?
No, I think I've delved more and more into it the further in my career I've gotten.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's a lot more, even songs like, What Do You Do or The Edge have hooks that are, in my opinion, way more mainstream sounding, even if just, the way they're vocally produced with like some autotune or effects on them or whatever. Just diving into different things that are popular right now that I think are dope, and trying to sprinkle it into what I do, even though they're popular in the mainstream. Again, it's like, all right, well, I think those are dope. And once I realize I can do it, like I have this brand new tool that I never knew I had. Yeah. And so I want to play with it. You know what I mean? And then I start doing it, on different songs and trying different things. But content lyrically, I couldn't even deliver. I mean, I probably could, but I would just.
But it would feel so fake, huh?
Yeah, if I was like talking about like fucking bitches at the club, or having like, I don't wear any jewelry. Like I just, it's not the way I roll. It's just not me. It's just. I understand. Like I've had songs and I'm like, yo, let's sell this, because I can write it. I can write it all day. That's just easy to me. Yeah. And I can do lyrically what other people are doing, and it's like dope. And I can get that and then sell it. But also to me, it's harder to do not that, because that shit is so easy. Yeah. It's like there's like almost a blueprint of like certain points to hit. It's like, all right, fucking whatever is like the popular saying right now, fucking throw that in, or some with some bitches, some with this type of car, or
the chain,
the diamond, whatever it is.
Like you good.
Yeah. And it's like you can hit all those, and it's incredibly easy, and still can even be fun to do, because those songs are fun. There's a reason they're popular, because the songs are fucking fun. Yeah. And a lot of people aren't listening to the lyrics, they're just listening to the way the cadence is and the melody is, and they don't even necessarily realize what's being said. It's how it's being said, and how the voice is being used, almost as an instrument. You know what I mean? Especially when there's so many effects on it and shit like that, it's almost as a secondary instrument in the track. So just doing different shit like that to me is fun, but it's not genuine to me, and I wouldn't even feel right putting it out. Like it would.
It goes back to like having your stamp on that forever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's dope. I wish, I feel like a lot of artists know that about themselves, about like, having a song like that stuck with them, but they're so kind of, not afraid. They don't want to miss the chance of like hopping on that wave, or like missing like that one hit single that'll make them blow up so they could be themselves. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And there's a lot of like, I mean, because I get that, because it's like, okay, this is what's hot right now. Like let's make something that sounds like this, and you make something that sounds like that, and you can, but like, take it one step further and make it yourself. Like I get that it's, you can use this sound and this type of cadence and this type of flow, but lyrically, can you make it your own? Yeah. And that's where the talent comes in, and being unique, and that's where you build a fan base. Yeah. It's because I can listen to 100 songs from artists but still be like, all right, who the fuck are you? Yeah. Like there's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing tangible here. Then it's just a song that's here and it's gone the next day. Exactly. And it's in the shuffle of the new Music Friday, and then it's just gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if you hear even one line that's like hits on something that you've dealt with, or you understand, or you relate with, even if it's a fucking comic book, and you're like, yo, I fuck with that. Okay, maybe I should, all right, I'm gonna listen to one more song. Like that right there can be the one thing, or even if it's where you're from, whatever the fuck it is, like that's what people latch onto, and that's why you get the successful people you have. Yeah. Even if you look at like someone, Well, I wouldn't even say it, because a lot of mainstream artists is like, those songs are also written by somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's somebody in a booth writing 10 songs, doing it in my Travis Scott voice, or doing it in my Drake voice, or doing it in this voice, and then they sell it. And like, and I don't even, once you become a machine like that, like a Drake or like, I don't hate on that. Like, that's what the fuck it is. And the songwriters need to make their money, and everybody's got a place in the music business. But that was always, I don't even want to go that far. Like, that was my, like, fuck. Because I hate that I've like I listened to like the Kid Laroi album, right? And there's some great songs on that album, and I fuck with it. But I can only listen to a 17-year-old kid talk about grown-up problems for so long, where I'm like, dog, you obviously didn't write this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, drinking every morning, fucking, you know, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to stop you from, like, I'm not trying to hate on whatever your experience is, but someone's writing it from something, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he doesn't write some of his own shit, which I'm sure he does, but there's a lot of writers on that shit writing what's popular and what kids will fuck with that is probably not genuine to a 17-year-old kid's experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not hooked on pills, drinking every, you know what I mean? Or maybe I was when I was that age, but like, I don't know. It's just, I can only listen to like a young kid for so long talking about like grown up ass shit that I'm like, all right, I need to move on.
Yeah. Like next tape.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah. And I do, like, you know how you say like you put yourself into the music, right? And you hope that somebody like latches on to like little pieces of it. And I literally like, well, I don't have it anymore, but I used to have a playlist of like all the rappers that would mention like Batman and Robin. Because that's my favorite, like, superhero,
there you go.
right? So
that's fire.
Just like, yo, every time they would mention it, I would add it to the playlist. Like,
yeah, that's dope.
So it's little, like, anecdotes like that stick out to you. Or it's, like, little phrases where it's just like, oh, yeah, like, I remember going through that in college. And then you get that, you know?
Exactly.
So it's little, like, things that you went through and then you want... No, not that you do it for a purpose of people to relate to you, but... you do it because it's kind of like a therapy to you, right? To like let it out. And if
we do it because it means something to you. Like, so even if it's if you think something is incredibly unique to you, chances are it's definitely not.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they're unique. You know what I mean? Everybody thinks that they're...
My mom says I'm very... No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right? But everybody thinks their experience in life is unique. And it is in a sense because your experience is unique to you, but I'm sure the things you're feeling, I've felt
exactly
in my own experience. And so if you say something in a song about, you know, a certain way, I'm sure I felt, maybe I didn't know I felt that way, but when I hear that line, I'm like, damn, that's how I felt.
Bing, yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I relate with that and I get that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the great things about music, because yeah, you just never know who you're touching or who could relate to it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's important to be specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is weird. The more specific you think you're being to your own shit, the more relatable you end up becoming to as a whole. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. So I want to speak on your style. What... I hate asking this question too, but I want to know your answer. Like, I'm intrigued by your answer.
Okay. Okay.
If you were to describe your sound, no. I know. What would you describe it as? Because you have a little bit of everything, and like going back to what you listened to growing up and being like a skater, like I hear all the influences. That's why I said earlier that makes total sense. Because you have, you know, like your rapid rap, and then it has kind of like a punk feel. And then, you know, so how would you describe your sound?
I would say like if 90s boom bap skate rap had sex with like some brand new like modern day type shit, and that was the kid. You know what I mean?
Boom.
Because like you take me where these are my influences and this is the stuff that I'm into, and that was like my wheelhouse of like sound growing up, but then like I do like new shit, and I like where music is going. I don't hate on the evolution of music.
You're not like an old head that is like, oh, I hate that shit.
Nah, man, I hate people that like, dude, I'm lucky enough, I'm that age where like I've seen things come and go, and I saw the shock and how people hated on it, and then it became cool, and now people are hating on it again. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know, whatever's hot right now, in 10 years, people are gonna fucking make fun of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, whatever. You know what I mean? Just ride the wave. Just figure out what's cool. So I guess my sound would be like, I'm still that 90s like boom bap skate punk rap kid that also really fucks with some mainstream vibey, you know, turn up shit sometimes too. But I can get in my feels, you know what I mean, if I want to.
Yeah. Wow, I was expecting one big word, but you gave me one big phrase. That's cool too.
Oh, one big word? I don't know what one word would be.
That's why I was intrigued by your answer. I was like, let me see if he comes up with a word, or if you already had a word.
I mean, like heart hop is what I do. Like that's kind of the brand of what I would, you know, if I had to sum up. Really what my sound is, what my brand is, what EKOH really is, and what the community really is hard hop. And that's a more just genuine approach, you know, a vulnerable, genuine approach to modern day music and on a modern soundscape. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Is being able to hang with the rest of them, but still be able to do yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that. That's cool. Never heard of that before. So I want to talk about Reverse.
Yeah.
Because that song stuck out to me.
That's Jamie. She's not here. That's her favorite song, I think.
But I was like, no, it was the lyrics that you know, that I was like, because that happens to a lot of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, do we go back and we get a bag, or do we just tell them to fuck off?
You tell them to fuck off every time. My opinion.
Yeah.
It's not, I've had this, I mean, it's happened a lot, especially like the last 2 years or whatever. People who hated on me when I was coming up or on my grind, especially in the beginning. If you stick around long enough, if you work hard enough, you're going to pass all those people up. And it's happened in every level of my career, from the very beginning, little local scene, to the next part. Every level has come with people just hating and talking shit or ignoring me. And at the beginning, I try and get that acceptance. And once I realize it's not there, like, I don't dwell on it. I just go work. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm not here to make songs for rappers. I'm not here to make friends with rappers. I'm not here to be even necessarily accepted by other artists. I'm here to connect with my fans and make the music I want to make. Yeah. That's all I care about. So I'll try, because it is nice to be accepted by your peers and shit. But if it doesn't, it's like, fuck it, I'm fine. I'll go over here and do my own thing. Yeah. And then eventually just pass it up, and those people will come back around like, yo, like, I know you're fucking killing it. Like, you know, I shouldn't have said that or whatever the fuck. Yeah. And, you know, there's even a lot of people where it's like, dude, you know, that have come back asking for stuff. And I know they're not bad people. And I know, you know, they were just in whatever situation they were in and feeling. But at the end of the day, there's people I want, you know, even like, dude, I would like to do this feature for you. I would like to put you on or let you play this show with me and all this kind of shit. But I can't, in the right mind, in my heart, if you've caused me even a moment of discomfort emotionally or with my people, or caused me stress that causes strain, you know, with someone I care about, or any of that shit, are just stuck in my mind or fucked with me for even a minute, there's no way I can, like, I just can't. I can't. Yeah, it's not. You know what I mean? I like, even though I want to, like, dude, there's something in me. It's just like, you brought that, man. Like, you did this to yourself. I'm sorry, but like, this is just the way it is.
Deal with the consequences.
You know, so maybe next time, just don't fucking hate on people for no reason. You know what I mean? Find the good. Like, why burn a bridge before you've even built one?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I guess that comes from the fact, like, I've never been one to like start drama or shit like that. I'd always rather build, especially with people that are dope. Yeah. I don't get insecure. I don't get threatened by people that are dope. I get inspired, and I want to work with you. I don't want to fucking hate on you and try and like battle you. If someone's dope, I'm like, yo, I want to work with that person. I want to figure out how they do what they do. You know what I mean? And that's why even like with the features I have are all from people that I think are incredibly dope, that I look up to, that I think are sick. And when I send a song out for a feature, I want you to fucking crush me.
Yeah.
I'm not a guy that's gonna be like, yo, you fucking kill. Like, if I'm sending you a song for a feature, I'm a fan of you.
Yeah.
And if you don't come back with some shit that's crazy, I'll be,
like, what the fuck? Why did you half-ass this?
Not even like, but I'm gonna be, bummed out, because if I want you to do some dope shit, like, because at the end of the day, this is my song I live with, and I want to service the song the best it can. Yeah. And I felt like I did the best I could do. And so if I'm sending it out, I want whoever I send it to come back with fire. So I want you to do better than me. I want, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm a fan and I like dope shit.
Exactly.
So bring it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get insecure about it or try and hate on someone for being better than me. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody better than me. You know, and I'm not delusional. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. So one of your songs made me feel really old. It was your
Damn.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, holy crap. It was the Butterfly song.
Oh yeah. It made you feel old?
Yes.
So you're like, damn, I remember when this shit was popping.
Oh God. That's really what it was. I was like, holy shit. What made you want to use that?
That's what it is, because you hear that beat and you're like, that beat's fucking slaps, dude.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. Like, that beat is iconic for a reason.
It is, yeah.
Like, that there's something about it that's just special. And originally I was just trying to think of something to remix, because I wanted to do something to make something new. And looking back on the song, that's like one of those songs that for some reason became like a guilty pleasure.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people didn't want to outwardly say they liked it, but it's on everybody's fucking playlist. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the beat was still dope, and I was like, I want to remix something, but I don't want to remix. If I do remix anything, it's usually I just take something and kind of make it my own. But I don't want to do anything modern. I don't like rapping other rappers' beats and shit like that. It's not really my thing. And I heard that song one night. I was like, I should try and see if I could do this, because this shit's dope, and I've never heard anybody do it. Yeah. And that's weird, because this shit slaps. And I was like, if somebody does it right, this song could possibly like have like a resurgence. You know what I mean? And so I just started writing to it and figuring it out, and then we remade it from scratch. And when I was making it, I was like, I think this is gonna be dope. And then when I did the hook, I was like, yeah, I think this is good. I think it might do something. Maybe on TikTok it'll pop off or something.
Definitely, yeah.
And then it did, which was dope. But yeah, it was cool. And we're not done with it yet.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still.
So, can you tell us?
I don't know. Doesn't.
She's like, I don't know.
Well, so I made the song and like it popped off on TikTok, and then the dude from Crazy Town reached out.
Oh shit!
So we're doing like an official remix.
That is so tight.
With him on it. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
Dude, that's fucking tight. Congratulations. That's so
Thank
cool.
You. But I'm sorry I made you feel old. But it's supposed to not. It's supposed to make you feel like. It's supposed to make you feel like hopefully that you're still in the mix.
Okay. No, I was
you know what I mean?
I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen that music video in forever. And then I went and I YouTubed it, and I was like, oh my God, because it's different quality now. Like,
yeah.
Look up old videos, and I was like, oh my God, it just made me feel really old.
Some of those videos are so like, you're like, what were you thinking? Not even that one, but you know what? Yeah. You remember the Linkin Park In the End video? That shit is whack.
If you look
the special effects on that are so bad, and it's such a good song. Yeah. But like that special effects was like, what the fuck happened?
At the time, we thought that was so cool, right?
I think even at the time, I was like, what is this?
No, I remember watching music videos and being like, holy shit, or even like old movies, and then I rewatch them like with my little brother. He just turned 18, so I show him like old videos or old music videos, and he's like, what the fuck is this? And I'm just like, you know what? Just listen to the song. Like,
it's funny too, because it's like, how come when it came out we didn't see anything wrong with it, but now we see? But is it because that was just as good as they could do? So you're like, wow.
I think so.
But really, it was still just as bad then as it is now. But I guess now you just have like a meter to base it against.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's bad. So with your music, the way you grow your fan base and you put out a lot of singles and stuff, what is it that you truly want your fans to take away from your music, if anything?
That's interesting. What I want them to take away with the music. I want anyone who like listens and relates to my music just to feel something.
Okay.
You know, whether it's like a song like Martian and it just makes you feel like hyped up and like good about yourself, or like, you know, driving to work and like, all right, today's not going to be as bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or if a song like Dope Sick, if you're going through some shit and you're addicted to some shit or something like that, and you feel like someone else gets it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or a song like I'm Not All Right, if you're not, you know, if you're not feeling right in your head and you're going through some shit, if you feel like somebody gets it.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a song like Reverse when you're on some fuck you type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just there's a full spectrum range of emotions that human beings go through.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be able to hit on at least one of them in each song to make you feel seen, or, you know, just, I guess, not alone, or just like you just feel connected to something. You know what I'm saying? I would like for you to leave the music feeling like there's some sort of connection and some, you know, you relate with it.
Yeah. So kind of like I went through this, like, you're not alone type shit, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's growing up when I was listening to music growing up. That was a big thing for me, was just feeling like I wasn't alone in the world and somebody got me. You know what I mean? Because you know, especially when you're growing up, you don't feel like your parents get you.
Yeah.
You don't feel like the kids at school get you a lot of times. Maybe a couple of your friends really do, but do they know everything? Or, you know what I mean? But when you sit at home, it's also the beautiful thing about music when you think about it, is what other types of artistic mediums are something that you ingest completely alone in a big way, but also in a crowd of thousands of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you take it, this thing that you so intimately connected with by yourself in your room. And then when that band or that artist comes to play in your city, then you're sharing that connection that other people had probably in the same way, either in their car, in the room, in their headphones by themselves, but then you share that all together in a big group of people.
Yeah.
I think that's why playing live shows is so powerful too. You know what I mean? Because when the person next to you is singing the lyrics that you're singing next to you, that the person on the stage, it's like this whole like weird connection that everybody kind of, you know, has with each other. And it's just a really cool thing.
We all become in sync. Yeah.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's crazy because I've actually made a lot of friends like going to concerts alone and just being like, oh, like this is your favorite song too, you're singing it with me type shit. And you just never know.
Yeah, because especially like that shit on those songs like that, not to like, you're not gonna meet those people at like you know, bad bitches is the only thing that like, you'd be like, that could be like, oh, you're into this shit too, you're into some like that could even be it too. You know what I mean? But if you're at a show and it's like on some real shit, it's like that's something that you can really connect with another person through. You know what I mean? I guess the bad bitches type thing too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's more like of a club thing. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like shots.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah. What is next for Echo?
Tour starts on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's my first headlining tour, so that'll start then. And then we're just going to continue putting out singles, probably leading towards the next record.
Yeah.
And music videos, some cool features, and just try and push the envelope, push the sound, make the moves intentional.
Yeah.
Make the music and everything that comes from it more intentional. And that's, you know, just continue to grow and mature, not only in the music, but the way we put it out and things like that.
Well, congratulations on tour.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I know that's a little scary because everything kind of paused last year because of COVID and stuff. So
yeah, it's scary right now. Hoping
I know it's scary right now too.
Yeah.
But like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if it goes through, which there doesn't seem to be any issue. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you. That's cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Do you want to let the people know where they could find you and stuff before we get out of here?
Yeah, you can find me any social media platforms. It's all the same. It's at Echo Music. It's spelled EKOH Music.
All right. And thank you for pulling up. Congratulations on
Hey,
hitting
thank you for having
number 2
me.
on tour. And I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me for
No
sure.
problem. Thank you for pulling up.
Yeah, all day.
And we out.